Don't move another inch. That dog will rip you apart." The shout tore through the penthouse like a gunshot. It was Enzo Dante himself. Billionaire, kingmaker, a man whose anger could ice an entire room in seconds. But he was too late. The pit bull was already in the air. Maya Williams didn't even have time to scream. 1 second she was stepping over a fallen takeout bag. The next, nearly 100 pounds of muscle and fury came flying straight at her, jaws stretched wide enough to crush bone. Instinct took over. Raw, terrified, street-learned instinct. She snatched up the closest thing she could reach, the heavy steel serving tray that had clattered to the floor moments before. As the dog lunged, Maya twisted sharply, drove her shoulder forward, and dropped her weight, redirecting the attack just like her uncle had taught her years ago. The pit bull slammed into the marble with a sharp yelp, skidding across the floor before crashing into the base of a glass display case. Everything froze. The guards reached for their weapons. Maya staggered back, shaking so hard she could barely breathe. "I didn't mean to," she gasped. "He came at me. I just reacted." Enzo wasn't listening. Shock twisted instantly into murderous fury. "You stupid little girl," he snarled. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" "I wasn't trying to hurt him," Maya pleaded, lifting trembling hands. "He jumped. You put your filthy hands on my dog." Enzo crossed the distance in 2 long strides, venom dripping from every word. "You people never listen. Eddie Everett." Maya stiffened at "you people," but fear rooted her in place. "He attacked me," she whispered. Enzo grabbed her shoulder and shoved her hard. She went down on her palms, pain shooting up her wrists. "Don't you dare step into my home," he hissed, "and make excuses for injuring the only creature here worth a damn." Behind him, the pit bull struggled to his feet, shaking his massive head. A deep, furious growl rolled from his chest as his eyes locked onto Maya sprawled on the floor. One of the guards shouted, "Sir, he's focusing on her. Should we?" Too late. The dog charged. Maya's lungs locked. There was no tray now, no space to roll away. Her back hit the base of the sofa, trapping her completely. She threw her arms up just as the pit bull leapt, and then she heard it. Not a growl, not the crack of paws against marble. Something else. A small broken sound. A whine. The pit bull landed on her, but "No," she said quietly. He was turned into one. The words lingered in the air like smoke from a long-buried fire. Enzo's eyes narrowed. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then answered with calm pride. "Maya Williams." "And who the hell told you to touch anything in my house, Miss Williams?" "No one," she admitted. "I was just here to deliver your food." A guard cleared his throat. "She's with Eastway Catering, sir. Background checked. Registered." "I didn't ask for her resume," Enzo said, never taking his eyes off her. Maya drew in a steadying breath. "Look, I didn't come here looking for trouble. I didn't even know who I was delivering to. But the second I saw him, Cerberus, King, whatever you call him, I knew." She glanced down. The dog let out a sleepy sigh, one paw twitching in his dreams. "I knew it was him." Enzo slowly lowered the gun, though he didn't holster it. "So, what exactly are you asking for? A reward? A thank you for knocking over my dog and nearly starting a bloodbath?" Maya stood, gently guiding Cerberus off her lap. He settled at her feet like a disciplined soldier. "I want what's fair," she said. "He was stolen from me. If you bought him from someone who didn't have the right, that's not your fault. But it's not mine either." Enzo's jaw tightened. "Let me guess. You're going to sue." Maya let out a short, bitter laugh. "Right. Because a waitress from Queens is going to take Enzo Dante to court and win." That seemed to amuse him. Slightly. "Then what, Miss Williams? What's your angle?" "No angle," she replied. "I just want to be with him. I want to make sure he's safe, that he's not being used." "He's not a toy," Enzo snapped. "He's security. He's saved my life. And you don't get to pretend the last 7 years didn't happen." "I'm not pretending," Maya shot back, then softened her voice. "I'm not here to erase your history with him. I'm here to reclaim mine. The room went still. After a long moment, Enzo turned to one of his men, called Dr. Levon, checked the dog's microchip, verify everything. Already on it, the guard said. Enzo looked back at her. Until then, you don't leave. Excuse me, you want to be with him? He gestured toward the dog. Fine, you stay. You feed him, walk him, train him. If he responds to you the way you claim, you'll prove it. And if not... He didn't finish the sentence. Maya crossed her arms. So I just live here? Not as a guest, Enzo said, mouth curving into something not quite a smile. As a handler. I'll pay. But the hair along Cerberus's neck lifted, just slightly. Maya noticed. She cleared her throat. You're the breeder? I prefer the term trainer, Gavin replied smoothly. Though I suppose I've been both. Cerberus was difficult. You stole him, Maya said flatly. Gavin raised an eyebrow, mock surprise flickering across his face. Is that what you think? I know it, she snapped. You took him from a backyard in Queens. Changed his name. Broke him. Enzo's gaze flicked toward her, surprised by her bluntness. But he didn't stop her. Gavin's smirk cooled. The world doesn't care where loyalty is forged, Miss Williams. Only that it holds when it matters. He stepped closer. Cerberus rose. Not with a snarl. Not with aggression. With warning. A low vibration rolled from his chest, deep and measured like distant thunder. Gavin stopped mid-step. Interesting, he murmured. Still remembers me. He remembers who hurt him, Maya said calmly. And who didn't. She rested her hand on Cerberus's fur, grounding him. You trained him to be a monster, but you couldn't erase love. For a brief moment, something sour flickered across Gavin's face, almost threatened. Then he laughed. Well, he said lightly, backing away, we'll see how long sentiment lasts when he's tested. He vanished into the crowd. Enzo stepped closer to Maya, voice low. That was a risk. He's dangerous, she replied, and he doesn't belong here. I wasn't talking about the dog. They stood in silence, Cerberus between them, like a boundary between two worlds. Then Enzo spoke again, quieter now. Keep him close. Tonight's not over. At that moment, a woman in a red dress screamed. The crowd split apart like water. Maya rose before the sun, muscles aching from the day before, but her mind sharp and steady. She stretched beside the bed, glancing toward the window where Cerberus still slept. His ears twitched at her movement, but he didn't stir. Calm, peaceful, a far cry from the snarling beast who nearly tore her apart 48 hours ago. She smiled softly. You're still in there, she whispered. I see you. Downstairs, Maya brewed chicory coffee the old way. No pods, no machines, just heat, grounds, and patience. Jorge, the burly cook, eyed her from across the counter. You know we've got a full espresso bar, he said, jerking his chin behind her. Maya stirred the pot slowly. I like mine strong and slow. Tech can't make it with soul. Jorge snorted. You got soul, all right. Bringing a damn war dog back to life with a lullaby. He's not a war dog, Maya said lightly. He's a survivor. When she returned upstairs with 2 mugs, one for herself, one paired with a beef bone, Cerberus was already awake, his ears perked, tail thumping lazily. He took the bone gently and settled on a rug without a sound. He didn't even flinch when a vacuum roared to life down the hall. By 8, they were in the rooftop courtyard, a private training space lined with turf and reinforced glass. Guards watched from above, hands close to their holsters. Maya could feel Enzo's attention, even without seeing him. She started simple. Sit, stay, down. Cerberus followed each command not like a trained weapon, but like someone rediscovering a forgotten language. Good boy, she murmured, stroking his back. Still a king. The guards exchanged looks. He didn't even blink when I passed him. One whispered, She's magic. Another muttered. Around noon, Enzo appeared without warning. Jacket off, tie loosened. All business. He hasn't snapped at anyone today, he said. Maya didn't look up. because no one shouted, waved a gun, or treated him like a monster. He is a monster, Enzo said flatly. No, Maya replied, turning to face him. He's a dog in pain. And you're a man who treats everything like a weapon, including himself. Enzo's jaw tightened. You think that's funny? I think it's sad. They held each other's gaze. For once, Enzo didn't answer right away. What are you feeding him? He asked finally. Chicken stock. Rice. Peas. Real food. Not the imported performance protein. He's a dog, Maya said calmly. Not a Navy SEAL. Enzo looked down at Cerberus. Stretched at her feet, eyes half closed like a child after a nap. I bought him for security, Enzo muttered. You bought a ghost, Maya said softly. You just didn't know it. Something fragile hung between them, unnamed. There's a gala Friday, Enzo said at last. Rooftop lounge. Press. Power players. Maya stiffened. And I want him there. He's not a showpiece. He's a symbol, Enzo replied. People notice change. I need them to see he's still mine. He's not yours anymore. Enzo's expression didn't shift. Be ready by 8. As he turned away, Maya called after him. What about me? He paused. What about you? I don't own anything fit for a billionaire circus. His eyes swept over her like a calculation. I'll send something. That night, a black dress waited in her closet. High neck, low back, soft fabric with strength stitched into every seam. A note read, You're not a ghost either. E. She rolled her eyes, still smiled. For the next 3 days, Maya stayed glued to Cerberus. She introduced him to staff, let him watch her cook, brushed his fur, hummed Creole songs he clearly remembered. Sometimes a haunted look crept back into his eyes, but it faded faster each time. On the 3rd night, thunder rattled the city. Cerberus paced, whining softly. Maya laid a blanket on the floor and sang. He curled up without shaking. The past was still there. It just wasn't in control anymore. The gala glittered above Manhattan, like a postcard come to life. Chandeliers hung like constellations. Music, laughter, and money drifted through the night. And in the center of it all stood Maya Williams, wrapped in black, one hand resting lightly on Cerberus's leash. He sat beside her, calm and unmoving. No growl, no twitch, but the pressure was everywhere. One mistake, and she'd lose everything. Enzo arrived late, as expected. Midnight blue tux. Diamond cufflink flashing. You clean up well, he said. You didn't mention the press. I didn't think you'd care. Photographers whispered. Cameras tilted toward the dog. They're going to ask questions, Maya said. About him? About me? Let them, Enzo replied. Say, he remembered who he was. You want a redemption story. I want control, he said, and forgiveness. I'm not a prop. No, Enzo said quietly. You're proof. Then the crowd surged. Senators, CEOs, models, investors. Admiration followed Cerberus everywhere, until one man stepped forward. Slim build, sharp suit, smile like a blade. Gavin Marchetti, he said, shaking Enzo's hand. Maya froze. Gavrin's eyes slid to the dog. He looks calmer. Then to her. And you must be the one who broke the beast. Cerberus stayed perfectly still, but Maya felt the leash tighten in her grip. The scream cut through the music, like glass shattering. For a split second, no one moved. Then chaos rippled outward. Guests gasped and recoiled as a woman in the red dress stumbled backward. Champagne flute slipping from her fingers and exploding against the marble. Her eyes were locked on something behind her, wide and panicked. He collapsed, she stammered. Security surged forward. Enzo was already moving, sharp and controlled, scanning the room with instinct honed by decades of danger. Clear the area, he barked. Now. Cerberus stiffened beside Maya. Not aggressive. Alert. His body angled slightly toward the disturbance, ears forward, breath slow but focused. Maya felt it immediately. The shift? Not fear. Purpose. She knelt beside him, hand firm on his collar. "Stay with me," she whispered. "I've got you." The crowd parted to reveal a man sprawled on the floor near the bar. Middle-aged, expensive suit, one hand clutching his chest, the other twitching uselessly against the marble. His face had gone gray, lips tinged blue. "A heart attack," someone whispered. "No," Enzo said sharply, crouching to assess him. "He's too young." Cerberus let out a low sound, not a growl, a signal. Maya's pulse spiked. "He smells something," she said quickly. Enzo looked up. "What?" "Chemical," she added. "Sweet, metallic. Gavrin." The name slammed into her mind. "Someone poisoned him," Maya said. "Slow release. Probably on the rim of the glass." Enzo's eyes snapped toward the bar, locked his floor down. Too late. A second scream erupted near the elevators. Then another. Cerberus broke from his sit, not lunging, not panicking, moving with controlled speed as Maya released the leash. He wove through the chaos, nose low. Tracking. "Cerberus," Enzo shouted. "Let him work." Maya snapped back. "He knows what he's doing." They followed. Near the service corridor, a man in a server's jacket was pushing through a restricted door, head down, moving fast. Too fast. Cerberus stopped dead. The man froze. Slowly he turned. It wasn't Gavrin, but his eyes held the same cold emptiness. "Easy," the man said, backing up. His hand slipped toward a pocket. Cerberus growled. "Deep, final, absolute." Maya stepped forward, voice steady. "Don't." The man bolted. Cerberus chased, but stopped inches from the threshold, exactly where Maya had trained him to. He didn't cross, didn't bite, didn't lose control. Security tackled the man seconds later. A vial shattered on the floor, releasing a sharp, sickly sweet scent. Enzo stared at Cerberus, then at Maya. Something in his expression shifted, not suspicion, recognition. Back upstairs, paramedics rushed the collapsed guest away. The gala was over. Press escorted out. Phones confiscated. Silence replaced music. In the aftermath, Enzo stood with Maya near the glass railing, the city glowing below them. "That wasn't supposed to happen," he said quietly. "No," Maya replied. "It was supposed to fail." He glanced at Cerberus, who sat calmly at her side, bloodless and composed, eyes clear. "You were right," Enzo said at last. "He's not a weapon." Maya didn't answer. "He's a witness," Enzo continued. "And someone doesn't want him remembering." Maya's hand tightened in Cerberus's fur. "Gavrin's not done," she said. "And neither am I." Enzo looked at her then, not as staff, not as leverage, but as an equal standing in the crosshairs of something much larger. Then, he said slowly, "We stop running this like a business." His eyes hardened. "And start treating it like a war." Cerberus lifted his head, ears pricked. "Ready?" The scream cut through the gala, like a blade. For half a second, the music kept playing. Then chaos erupted. A woman in a red dress staggered backward, eyes wide, hands shaking as her champagne flute slipped and shattered against the marble. She pointed toward the bar, breath hitching. He just collapsed." Guests recoiled, voices overlapping in panic. Security surged forward, radios crackling. Enzo was already moving, sharp and decisive. "Clear the area," he ordered. "Now." Cerberus shifted beside Maya. Not aggressive. Alert. His posture changed subtly. Ears forward, spine aligned, focus narrower like a drawn bowstring. Maya felt it instantly. "Stay with me," she whispered, fingers tightening on his collar. "You're safe." They pushed through the parting crowd. A man lay sprawled near the bar, designer suit rumpled, skin ashen. One hand clawed weakly at his chest, the other knocked over a half-full glass. His lips were tinged blue. "He's not breathing right," someone cried. Enzo knelt, checking for a pulse. "This isn't a heart attack." Cerberus released a low sound, not a growl. A signal. Maya's stomach dropped. "He smells something," she said quickly. Enzo looked up. "What kind of something?" "Chemical," she replied. "Sweet, Wrong. Her eyes flicked instinctively toward the crowd. Gavin was gone. Lock the exits! Enzo snapped into his calm. Too late. Another scream rang out. Closer this time, near the service corridor. Cerberus broke from his sit the moment Maya loosened her grip. He didn't bolt. He tracked, nose low, movements precise and controlled. Cerberus, a guard shouted. Let him go, Maya said firmly. He's working. They followed him through the thinning crowd. At the edge of the restricted hallway, a man in a server's jacket was moving fast. Too fast. His shoulders were tense, his steps uneven. Cerberus stopped. The man froze. Slowly he turned. His eyes were empty, calculating. Easy, he said, backing away. His hand slid toward his pocket. Cerberus growled. Low. Final. Maya stepped forward, voice steady. Don't. The man ran. Cerberus chased, but halted inches from the threshold, exactly where Maya had trained him to stop. He didn't cross, didn't lunge, didn't lose control. Security tackled the man seconds later. A small vial shattered on the floor, releasing a sharp, sickly sweet scent. Silence fell. Enzo stared at Cerberus, then at Maya. Something shifted in his expression. Not suspicion, recognition. Paramedics rushed the collapsed guest away. The gala dissolved in quiet urgency. Phones were confiscated. Press escorted out. The rooftop emptied until only staff, guards, and the three of them remained. Maya knelt, pressing her forehead briefly to Cerberus's. You did good, she whispered. He exhaled, steady and calm. Enzo approached, gaze hard but thoughtful. That wasn't coincidence. No, Maya said. It was a test. Of him. Of me, she replied, and of what he remembers. Enzo looked out over the city lights, jaw tight. Gavin wanted to see if he'd break. He wanted to see if Cerberus was still his, Maya said quietly. Enzo's eyes darkened. And now, Maya stood, one hand resting on the dog's neck. Now he knows he isn't. Cerberus lifted his head, ears pricked, not toward danger, but toward Maya. Enzo watched them for a long moment. Stay close, he said finally. Both of you. Maya met his gaze. We already are. Somewhere deep in the building, an alarm chimed softly. The night wasn't over yet. The alarm chimed again, soft, controlled, deliberate. Enzo checked his phone, then his security feed. Service elevator, he muttered. Someone tripped a silent protocol. Maya's pulse quickened. Cerberus felt it too. He rose smoothly to his feet, not tense, not wild, ready. Is it him? Maya asked. Either Gavin, Enzo said, or someone working for him. They moved quickly now, down a private corridor lit with recessed lights. The building felt different, quieter, heavier, as if it knew something bad had slipped inside its bones. At the elevator bank, 2 guards lay unconscious on the floor, alive but out cold. Maya stopped short. He doesn't knock people out. No, Enzo agreed. This is surgical. Cerberus lowered his head, sniffing, his tail stilled. Then he turned sharply left toward a maintenance stairwell. Tracking, Maya said. He's following scent memory, not fear. They descended fast. 1 flight. 2. On the 3rd landing, voices echoed. Told you this was a bad idea, a man hissed. You said the dog was broken, another replied. You said... Cerberus froze. Every muscle locked. Maya felt it, his body remembering before his mind did. She knelt instantly, grounding him, palm firm against his chest. Hey, she whispered. You're here. You're safe. I've got you. The voices drew closer. Then Gavin stepped into view. His suit jacket was gone now, sleeves rolled up. Calm eyes. A man who'd never believed consequences applied to him. Well, Gavin said softly, look at that. He didn't tear the place apart. Enzo stepped forward, gun raised. You're done. Gavin smiled. Am I? His gaze slid to Maya. You really did fix him. I underestimated you. You didn't break him enough, Maya said. That's what eats at you. Gavrin's eyes hardened. I gave him purpose. You gave him pain. Cerberus growled. Not loud, not wild. A promise. Gavrin took a step back, despite himself. Careful, he warned. He still remembers what I taught him. No, Maya said, standing. He remembers what you tried to erase. She unclipped the leash. Enzo's head snapped toward her. Maya. It's okay, she said quietly. I trust him. Cerberus didn't move, didn't charge. He simply stood at Maya's side, choosing. Gavrin's smile finally cracked. You think loyalty beats conditioning? I know it does, Maya replied. Sirens wailed in the distance now. Someone had called it in. Gavrin glanced toward the exit, calculating. This isn't over. No, Enzo said coldly. It is. Gavrin lunged, not at Maya but past her. Cerberus moved. Fast. Precise. He intercepted without teeth, slamming Gavrin into the wall with controlled force, pinning him there. No bite, no blood, just power restrained. Gavrin gasped, stunned. Maya rushed forward. Enough, she said. Cerberus released immediately and stepped back. Enzo stared, not at Gavrin, at the dog, at Maya, at the choice that had just been made. Security flooded the stairwell moments later, weapons raised. Gavrin was cuffed, swearing, furious, finally afraid. As he was dragged away, his eyes found Maya one last time. You think you won, he spat, but men like me don't disappear. Maya didn't flinch. Neither do dogs like him. Silence settled after they took Gavrin away. Enzo exhaled slowly. You let him choose, he said. I did. And he chose you. Maya looked down at Cerberus. He leaned into her leg, solid and real. He chose himself, she corrected. Enzo nodded once. Outside, dawn began to creep over the city, pale and uncertain. Something had ended that night, and something far more dangerous had just begun. The first light of dawn crept across Manhattan, painting the skyscrapers in pale gold. From the rooftop, Maya could see the city already awakening. Taxis honking, subways rumbling, and the endless hum of people chasing their own lives. But for her, the night's chaos had left a different rhythm in her chest. Cerberus shifted beside her, ears perked, tail low and steady. The dog she had spent years remembering, training, and finally reclaiming was calm, aware, but calm. Enzo stepped up beside her. He didn't touch her, didn't speak at first. Just watched, his hands in his pockets, jacket over one arm. There was a weight behind his gaze, something she didn't need him to explain. He's yours, Enzo said finally, voice low. No, Maya replied softly. He's himself. Enzo's jaw tightened. Either way, he follows you. Because I don't make him follow anyone else, she said, glancing down at Cerberus. The dog looked back, eyes sharp but loyal, aware of the moment but unafraid. Enzo nodded slowly. You did what I couldn't. Maya shook her head. I didn't fix him. I reminded him of who he already was. Behind them, the city stirred. But inside the tower, the world was quiet. Temporarily safe, temporarily theirs. A text buzzed on Enzo's phone. He glanced at it, frowning, then slipped it into his pocket without a word. Maya didn't ask. Some things didn't need discussion yet. Cerberus needs a proper routine, Maya said, kneeling to straighten his leash. Diet, exercise, mental stimulation, not just obedience. Enzo's lips quirked faintly. You're serious. I'm never not serious about him, Maya said. Her eyes met his. And anyone who thinks they can touch him will learn exactly what that means. Cerberus leaned into her hand, growling softly, not in anger, but as a warning. Protective, powerful, free. Enzo looked at them both. For the first time that night, a hint of respect softened his usual steel-hard expression. You've earned his trust, he admitted. And I intend to keep it, Maya said. The sunrise spread, bathing the rooftop in warm light. It didn't erase the night's chaos, the threats, or Gavrin's lingering shadow, but reminded her that every choice had weight and every bond had power. Maya straightened, leash in hand, Cerberus walking calmly beside her. "Let's get him fed," she said, "and then we start training for the next challenge." Enzo watched them walk back toward the penthouse. "Next challenge," he echoed, voice thoughtful, almost a warning. "Don't underestimate it." Maya didn't answer. She didn't need to. Cerberus's steady presence was answer enough. And together, they stepped into the day, not just survivors of the night, but owners of what came next.